Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. The movie begins 2 weeks after an attack on Fortress Camp, in Kyzyl, Russia. Sasha, feeling weak and upset, is confronted by Russian goons in her room. They engage in a conversation, and to emphasize Sasha's fear, they record a video of them tormenting her, causing her to scream. Enter Robert, who intervenes by killing one of the goons. He then confronts another, stabbing him. However, Robert is shot from behind by another goon. Despite this, he manages to retaliate, stabbing the shooter, before escaping with Sasha. And so, this marks the beginning. After the traumatic incident at Fortress Camp, Sasha struggles to sleep properly. 2 weeks later, as everyone is packing up to leave the camp, Kate takes charge of organizing things. Paul joins her, and they discuss matters with Kate, emphasizing the need to keep things in order. During their conversation, Sasha, still visibly distressed, joins them and opens up about her struggles. Kate empathizes with her difficult situation. Sasha later approaches Robert, seeking answers, and Paul fills her in before she walks away. In a separate conversation between Kate and Paul, it is revealed Robert is the one who saved Kate by killing her husband. The revelation is followed by a kiss between Kate and Paul. Meanwhile, a girl discovers bombs in a box, leading Kate to instruct her to handle them carefully, and move them to a safer location. In the medical room, Sasha expresses her gratitude to Robert, who is undergoing treatment for a gunshot wound. Robert in turn apologizes for killing Sasha's husband, and kisses her hand, seeking reconciliation. A month earlier, Frederick conceded defeat to Robert, pleading for help to rescue his wife from the Russians. Robert agreed, but ultimately shot Frederick. Back in the medical room, Sasha reflects on Frederick's complicated nature, and Robert takes care of her, hoping that with time, she will overcome her painful thoughts. She assures that everything will eventually be fine. Meanwhile, Kate informs Paul that her mother is coming to the location where she learned about the assault, expressing fear, and a desire for Paul to be with her. Excited, Paul eagerly anticipates meeting Kate's mother. Ken goes to the airport to pick up Kate's mother, Carol. Carol praises Ken, introduces him to her daughter Zoe, and they proceed with their journey, discussing Ken's military background and the recent dangerous incident at Fortress Camp. As everyone reaches Fortress Camp safely, Carol, though somewhat relieved, expresses sadness about the dangers her daughter faces. She praises Kate, calling her the best, and they continue their journey. Meanwhile, Robert contacts an officer, who assures him his work will be completed soon, bringing him happiness. Ken drives them to the entrance of Fortress Camp, where they are allowed in by the guards. Inside the camp, they make their way to a secure cabin, which was beautiful just a week ago. Carol appreciates the scenery as they head to the office. Kate, Paul and Zoe meet Carol, and there is joy in the reunion. Kate instructs everyone to go to their rooms, and Carol expresses her desire to explore the area. Kate introduces Robert to Carol. Robert is pleased with Kate's intelligence and speed. Carol and Robert talk, with Carol expressing concern for him. He shares the memory of the incident a month ago, when Ulysses was killed while attempting to take Kate and Paul away. He highlights Kate's bravery in that situation. At dinner, everyone is in good spirits. Paul encourages everyone to enjoy the food, and Sasha, feeling tired, retires to sleep. Carol inquires about Sasha, and Paul explains how Robert saved her from Russian thugs, garnering positive reactions from the group. Later, Sasha, monitored by a camera, signals outside the fortress with a torch. Meanwhile, inside, Zoe and Paul finish cleaning their plates. Carol compliments Paul, making Kate happy, and they discuss their contentment with each other. Paul continues his work remotely, and Kate mentions planning for their future after leaving the fortress. Carol expresses concern for Sasha, and plans to discuss work with Kate the next day. A drone keeps an eye on the fortress at night, and Ken visits Janice, who praises the dinner. Ken expresses his desire to leave the place and explore the outside world. Janice shares her childhood experiences of traveling with her father, and Ken invites her to go to Paris with him. They both agree, and the night ends with a kiss between them. The next morning, Robert expresses dissatisfaction with the food, and Paul jokes that even Russian prison food might be better. They share a laugh, and Paul confides in Robert about his desire to spend his future with Kate. Robert, fond of Kate, advises Paul to be a good husband. Later, as they approach the gate, they discover one guard dead, attacked by goons. Another goon appears and kills the second guard. Meanwhile, Kate and Paul prepare to leave for an excursion, joined by others. As they gather, Ken expresses excitement. Zoe heads to the washroom, and goons, arriving in vehicles, start attacking and killing the fortress guards. Paul finds a way to Zoe in the washroom, as chaos ensues. Goons enter the premises, arresting everyone. Bristow, a goon, taunts Kate. In a tense moment, Paul retaliates, disarming Bristow, but he is urged to put down the gun. When Janice attempts to flee, goons shoot her and others. Ken is devastated by Janice's tragic death. The situation takes a dark turn, leaving the characters in a perilous state. Zoe makes her way through the washroom tunnel, attempting to escape. Meanwhile, Robert is shocked to encounter Frederick. They both arrive at the office, where they discover Janice's lifeless body. Expressing sadness, Robert is surprised when Frederick reveals that everything is now fine. Frederick informs Sasha, who apologizes to everyone. Sasha urges Frederick not to resort to killing, and he contemplates the idea. Frederick seeks revenge for his partner's betrayal, and needs money. He calls Ulysses, who is revealed to be alive, and together they plot against Paul. In a shocking turn of events, Ulysses arrives and kills Paul. Frederick takes Kate, and Sasha attempts to calm the situation, with Frederick insisting on trust. Frederick's goons separate everyone, and Kate is tied up in a room, while her ordeal is recorded. In another location, Paul is also tied up alongside Frederick. Paul inquires about Kate, and Frederick ominously brandishes a knife, hinting at impending danger. Denton has set up the computer, and Frederick demands his money from Paul. However, Paul explains that the government has blocked his account, sealing the funds. Frederick, laughing, reveals that Denton informed him about this, and discovered that the money is still in the account, only locked. Denton, however, is unable to unlock the account. To force Paul's cooperation, Frederick shows him a video of Kate. Paul, deeply affected by the video, becomes saddened. Sasha, witnessing the scene, is reminded of her time in a Russian prison, and she leaves the area. Elsewhere, two goons interrogate Ken about his background, learning that he was formerly in the army. The goons, who were Marines, discuss plans to kill Ken. Meanwhile, Carol is tied to a chair, questions Robert about Frederick, and he explains that Frederick has come to retrieve the money from them. In this intense situation, Paul complies and opens his account, revealing the money. Frederick, not satisfied, puts a knife to Paul's throat, demanding information about the rest of the money. Paul insists that the government must have taken the remaining funds. Frederick warns Paul that if he's wrong, he'll be killed, and he instructs him to transfer the remaining money. Paul seizes an opportunity to escape when he pretends to go to the bathroom, taking a goon with him. Once inside, Paul discovers a secret tunnel, and disappears for a while. The goon breaks into the bathroom but finds no one. Simultaneously, Ken, held captive by two goons, cleverly uses a flower to free himself, and defeats the goons. He manages to escape the immediate danger. Elsewhere, Paul reaches a room where a guard injects him with a tranquilizer. Zoe intervenes, knocking out the guard and hiding Paul. She then proceeds to save Kate. Kate, tied near Ulysses, encounters Bristow, who informs her that Ulysses has been summoned by Frederick. Bristow shocks Ulysses by delivering this news. As Bristow goes to Frederick, he unexpectedly attacks and knocks Frederick unconscious. He then approaches Kate, making inappropriate comments, and turns off the camera. Meanwhile, Denton and Frederick notice a laptop with ongoing work. Denton points it out, and Frederick goes to investigate, instructing Denton to check on Paul, who is still restrained. Denton goes to the washroom and finds it empty. Discovering a secret passage, he emerges on the other side to find one of his goons unconscious. Denton revives the goon, and they set out to locate Paul. When they return to Frederick, they realize Paul has escaped. Frederick laughs it off and commands them to find him. Sasha, haunted by memories of her Russian imprisonment, roams outside, visibly disturbed by the past torture. She moves forward, carrying the weight of her traumatic experiences. On another front, Bristow approaches Kate, unties her, and makes inappropriate comments. Sasha intervenes, incapacitating Bristow and rendering him unconscious. Simultaneously, Zoe and Ken cross paths. They update each other on their situations, and Zoe shares her plan to save Kate, who is held in the painting room. Aware of the distant location, Ken spots a bike nearby. They head towards the vehicles. As they approach, a goon attacks them. Ken and Zoe manage to get onto one of the bikes, and the goon gives chase. They drive towards the forest, where the goon continues pursuing them. Taking evasive action, Zoe and Ken set a trap with a rope, causing the goon to fall. A struggle ensues, with Zoe eventually shooting the goon in the head, decisively ending the threat. Ken reassures Zoe that she did the right thing, saving their lives. Together, they leave the scene, navigating the dangerous circumstances around them. Sasha apologizes to Kate, expressing regret for trusting Frederick, who had promised only to take the money without causing harm. Kate acknowledges the mistake, and they share a comforting hug. Kate begins searching Bristow's clothes for car keys. Meanwhile, Frederick confronts Robert with a gun, threatening Carol. Robert defends Carol, stating her innocence. Frederick insists on hurting her for revenge, revealing his intention to kill Paul and Kate. Carol cries as Frederick decides not to kill Robert but to torment him. Frederick discloses that Robert was not just a friend, but also his teacher. He releases Carol and takes her away. Paul regains consciousness, returns to the bathroom through the tunnel, and, after dealing with a goon, moves forward with his gun. Sasha and Kate interrogate Bristow, extracting the key from him. They leave before Ulysses regains consciousness. However, Bristow catches up to them, and just as he's about to act, Ulysses shoots him. Sasha surprises Ulysses, who informs Frederick about the developments. Frederick orders them to be brought to him. Robert frees himself, leaving Denton unconscious. Spotting Paul, he urges him to proceed and goes in the opposite direction. Ulysses brings Sasha and Kate to the office, where Kate reunites with her mother, Carol. Sasha pleads with Frederick to spare everyone. Meanwhile, Ken and Zoe arrive at the painting house to find it empty, with only Bristow's body outside. They mount a bike and head towards the office. In the midst of the chaos, a goon captures Paul and brings him to Frederick. Robert engages in a conversation with Frederick, who expresses satisfaction in hearing him, and asks Robert to finish him off this time. Frederick announces his intention to kill Paul, but Kate intervenes, and Sasha emphasizes that they only came for the money, not to trap Frederick. Frederick claims that it was Robert who indirectly led Sasha to the Russian goons. Sasha refutes this, blaming Frederick for taking money from the Russians. Frederick insists that everything he did was for both Robert and Paul, but Sasha counters, stating that he acts only for himself. Frederick reveals their helicopter is on the way to take them. Sasha refuses to go with him, leading to a confrontation. Meanwhile, Kate discovers a bomb, throws it away, and it explodes, prompting everyone to run. Ken arrives, eliminating the pursuing goons. Paul and Kate share a kiss, and he goes back inside, confronting more goons. Ken joins the fight, defeating them one by one. Robert discloses to Frederick that he invested half of his money in a government foundation, and built a new fortress camp to help people like Frederick. Robert shoots Frederick and activates a nearby grenade, resulting in Frederick's death. Witnessing the events, Sasha cries, and Robert understands her pain. Paul, Kate and Ken arrive to witness Frederick's demise. The next day, Carol sees Zoe and Kate sitting together, proud of Kate's work. A police car arrives to arrest Sasha. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out.